kind of superficial. Like Bella's character is a cheerleader, and I'll give away one little thing or whatever. She ends up getting shot in the chest, and then all she can think about is like, oh, nobody's gonna want to like fuck me anymore because my boobs all fucked up. You know what I mean?
That sounds like I would like it.
Yeah, and there's very like witty dialogue all the way through it, but it's very there's something there that's very charming, and you can't turn it off. I don't know. At least that's how I felt.
Yeah. So after you told me, like, oh my gosh, I love this movie so much, I was like, oh, well, maybe this one critic just expected something different. And, she was just, like, disappointed because of that.
And now after I watched it, because I hadn't heard anything besides that it was coming out, after I watched it and I loved it, then I saw everybody followed suit, like, online. I've been seeing my feed, nothing but this movie now. Like, go check out this movie. I've seen an article that said this is like in my top 5 for the year of best films or whatever. So
nice.
Anyway, yeah, and not to take too much time up on that one, but go watch The Babysitter if you have time. And we still have James' recommendations. So his first one is a show called Freakish, which follows a group of students who gather for school detention on a Saturday at Kent High. When a nearby chemical plant explodes, they must work together to find a way to survive with only limited resources and protect themselves from those who have turned into freakish zombie creatures as a result of the fallout.
Is that on Hulu?
I actually don't... He didn't tell me where you could find it.
I think I saw it on there. Yeah.
He has Hulu, so that would make sense. Mm-hmm. His next film is a classic and one of my favorites. It's From Dusk Till Dawn, not the shitty show, the original film.
Yeah.
The synopsis for that is: on the run from a bank robbery that left several officers dead, Seth Gecko and his brother Richie hightail it to the Mexican border, kidnapping preacher Jacob Fuller and his kids. The criminals sneak across the border in the family's RV and hole up in a biker bar. Unfortunately, the bar also happens to be home base for a gang of vampires, and the brothers and their hostages have to fight their way out.
I love that movie.
Santanico.
Anyway, that's it for our recommendations, and we can finally jump into I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Nice.
It's rated R. It was released October 17th, 1997, which makes it officially 20 years old, which is insane. That makes me feel kind of bad about myself a little bit.
Well, I mean, I do recall watching it when I was like that.
Like super
younger.
too young.
Younger. Yeah, that's just what I'm going to leave it at.
It's 1 hour and 41 minutes long, and it's got a 35% on Rotten.
And Rotten is like, they're brutal.
Yeah, sometimes. The synopsis is: after a group of teens cover up a gruesome accident, they suddenly become hunted nearly a year later by somebody who witnessed their actions that fateful night. It's starring Jennifer Love Hewitt, Freddie Prinze Jr., Ryan Phillippe, and Sarah Michelle Gellar. It was directed by Jim Gillespie and written by Kevin Williamson, who also did Scream, the Scream trilogy, and The Faculty. Do you guys want to hear my Swan facts?
Please.
Yeah, let's do it. I've been waiting.
Okay. The original trailer states Kevin Williamson as the creator of Scream. Miramax sued them and won their case for false advertisement and forced them to pull this from the trailer. I think the trailer that I played for you guys in the beginning is the one that says from it. They don't say it, but it shows the script on the screen or whatever. Mm-hmm. So that was the original trailer. I thought that was pretty interesting because why wouldn't you mention Wes Craven? Mm-hmm. It wasn't just Kevin, so that's weird. But anyway, the film was shot in just 50 days. Kevin wrote this prior to Scream, but couldn't sell it at the time. But then with the success of Scream later on, he was able to to just sell it right away.
Yeah, definitely.
The origins of the film stem from a young adult novel of the same name by author Louise Duncan. Duncan has stated time and time again that she hates this film because they changed the premise entirely. To give you guys a little backstory on the book, if you guys haven't read it, I'm sure you guys haven't.
I didn't even know.
I didn't even know that either.
Yeah. It's a book that predominantly they'll show you like in elementary or maybe middle school.
Okay.
And nobody dies in the book. It's about these kids that these young teenagers run over a kid on a bicycle, and then they pretend it never happened or it wasn't them.
Wait, so even the guy on the bike didn't die?
Well, I guess you caught me. Yeah, I think the kid dies or whatever, but there's no like, it's not a slasher book. If that makes sense.
That does make sense.
Sorry. I guess she was also upset over the violent nature of the film because she had lost her daughter just a few years prior. I think her daughter was murdered in 1989.
Oh, wow.
So I think she was opposed to the film because they had turned, like, you know, her subtext into a slasher film, essentially. Yeah, and I think that's my Swan facts.
Wow. Yeah, I didn't know that at all. I'm pretty shocked about that. That trailer that you played, I thought it like gave way too much. I was like, oh, I just watched the whole movie in a couple seconds with that trailer.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah, totally. I was like, oh, those are all the good parts right on the trailer.
Yeah. They tend to do that.
But I dig it. Like, I think I dig it because I watched it when I was younger and thought, like, ooh, this is different, you know? I think because they're, like, seniors and they're, like, you know, young adults and, like, I think that always kind of resonates a little bit more with me at least when I was younger and seeing those kind of movies. But yeah, I don't remember it too much, and when I saw it today, I felt like, yeah, I still dig this.
Okay, so you think it still holds up?
Yeah, I still like it. I mean, I think people just hate it on Rotten Tomato because I think the actors maybe after what they've done or something, but
we'll get into that more.
Yeah,
we got some time.
Yeah, but I dig it. I think if you saw it before, like it holds like a little like, oh yeah, I remember this movie.
Yeah,
I totally agree. It's like definitely a nostalgia for our generation. I feel like a lot of kids tend to love this film because of where they were at when they saw it. I know. Calling you out, Tim. You this was your first time watching it just tonight, right?
Yeah, I felt like it was like pretty dated, like as far as like we've been talking about, as far as like there's no technology and there's no all the fashion sense and stuff like that. You could definitely like so like you could tell that it took place in 1997, which is not a bad thing. It's a period piece kind of a thing, but the tense moments I thought were like really cool. Like some of the kills were like pretty gnarly.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, some of the acting was a little cheese for me.
And I think the reason it's like not like I get that it's over the top, but the reason why I look past that is because I'd seen it before and it does like hold that like nostalgic feeling like. But I think if I saw it now and hadn't seen it before, I'd probably say the same. Like, wow, they're really going above and beyond like.
Give me. I'm pretty sure I know what you're gonna say, but give me an example of like an acting that you thought was weird.
Ryan Phillippe like getting like so crazy on
Really, you didn't like that? I thought he was. I
oh,
thought
it's
he,
so comical that I was laughing, and like I said, I wouldn't have turned this movie off. Like, I thought it was a good movie, but it was definitely a bit like ridiculous in parts, but like in a good way.
nice.
Yeah, and Freddie Prinze Jr. I made a few comments throughout the movie also that like he's just like
I think that Ryan Phillippe at least is like believable a little bit, but like Freddie Prinze Jr. is like, no, dude, I don't know what you're doing.
Because he
I feel
just
like
kind of
they're-
like. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I feel like they're making him try too hard to be like really really good or like a good boy, you know,
Like the
not
the doe-eyed
yeah,
guy
exactly.
that doesn't really know what's going
like
on.
kind of really forced, and like Barry's character, like he's just like all in your face and like grabbing people's necks and shit, you know.
I know when he grabs
Julie.
Julie's like neck, and her boyfriend
And
just
then
like,
Red
"It's
doesn't
not
do
good."
anything.
And it's very, very aggressive.
Oh,
Where it's like,
yeah.
you fucking say it.
Shut up! When she's like, "Well, we murdered someone." Shut up!
You shut the fuck up.
and I think
I'm
that
not
kind of
saying shit.
that kind of bothered me, like that. But like Freddie Prinze Jr., like when he was like they're dealing with a murder, and he's like, "But I just want to be with you," and it's like, come on, dude. There's like some bigger stuff going on.
He's still
here.
like a young adult. Like he's still like, man, I want to get it in.
Yeah.
Like, it's not good.
And then Barry's over here like, we don't have time for your shit.
Shut up.
That's probably the highlight of this movie. Shut up. No, I mean, I think there are very bro-y guys like that. So I think it was a good
Plausible.
thing. Yeah, that he was kind of like this over-the-top, like, aggressive guy. But, the you know, Freddie Prinze Jr., yeah, he was... Yeah, they were trying to make him be, like, this perfect guy. And, like... But, yeah, he loses me in a few scenes.
He was like the main one that was like, yeah, the body will wash away and it'll be fine, and like the like all the evidence will be gone.
Well,
and then
because
he's
he
like,
was the one who...
I can't do it. I can't throw the body in the...
Well, he was the one who was behind the wheel, so I think he wanted it to go away. But then, yeah, of course, when it comes time to actually do it, he's like, nah, I don't know if I want to do this.
Yeah.
Well, let's hear what Emma has to say before we jump. We can come back to critiquing.
Totally.
If you... No? I just feel like everybody
Oh,
had
like in general about the movie?
How do you
Yeah,
feel?
they got their chance. How
No,
did you...
I feel like the same as Annie. Like, I've seen it before, and I feel like I look past certain things. Like, you know, Tim was saying, like, certain things stand out, and they kind of look off and dated. But, yeah, I kind of look past, and the thing that just, like, really stands out is, like, Barry's character. Like, he's just so over the top, and I was just like, man, if someone talked to me like that, he's gonna get a bitch slapped. And my boyfriend is not doing anything about it. Like,
He's getting bitch slapped too.
exactly.
Oh, well.
No, yeah, that's. I mean, I like the movie. I dig it. I took this movie to work because we were having like for the month of October we were having a horror movie. For, you know, during our lunch break, we can have, like, a movie time in there.
Right.
And so I took this one for the first week, and, like, and people didn't know. Like, oh, what is this? You know?
Really?
And I'm like, how do you not know? Like, he still knows. Like,
He knows what he did
He's
last
always
Sunday.
gonna know. Oh, man.
What did you think, Wes? What did you...
Oh, thank you for asking, man. I've always loved this movie. I watched it when it came out. I can remember I think I've told this story before, but my grandfather rented it, and they hesitated about me watching it, but somehow I still watched it, and
I feel like you say that about all
Every movie.
every movie. My grandparents didn't want me to see it, but I still
Somehow
watched
they
It sounds
it.
like you were a little shit. You were just like, I wanted to